Hi, welcome back to Creative Tuesdays with Liz. I'm excited to be here again this week as we come together and create our weaving project. These are so super neat with completely endless possibilities for ways that you can do your weaving. I think that you'll really enjoy this. They'll turn out super cool and neat. But what you will need for this project is some scissors, maybe a pencil. That's not necessary. Just if you wanted to draw your lines straight, you might want a pencil. Some pieces of colored construction paper, some scrapbook paper with different designs, some magazine paper and pages, and also some string or yarn, just to kind of give your project a different texture to it and a different look. So like this one has some string, some lace, along with the paper strips that was weaved in here. So you can use anything. I think a good variety just makes your piece more interesting. So a variety of textures, a variety of widths. You might want to have some, wide strips and then maybe some very thin strips. Different colors, different shapes, everything. So you can start, we will start with making our loom out of a piece of colored construction paper. So our loom is what is going to have the different pieces that we're going to weave into. So like this one was a circle. So I started with a circle. When you get ready to cut your slits to make your loom, you can fold your paper in half. And this is where, if you want to, you can take a pencil and draw your lines on there, or you can just cut. Do not cut past the edge or to the edge of your loom paper. So this is the only real rule for this project, is you cannot cut to the edge. So I do also want you to just enjoy this and not get stressed out over it. But yeah, you cannot cut all the way to the edge. Then you would just have strips of paper. You wouldn't have a loom. So there's a circle. You could do a square or just a regular piece of construction paper. You can cut your slits. Here's where all the different varieties come in. You can cut the slits in your paper kind of jagged to make your loom. You can cut them all straight. This one was created with the pieces all being cut just straight across. You can zigzag them, make them kind of jagged lined, any way that you want to. So we will, again, you'll take your paper, you can fold it in half, and you can get ready to cut your strips, your lines in there that will make little slits to make your loom. You can draw your lines to where you want to cut and then just cut on top of the lines that you drew. Just remember to stop before you get to the edge. Okay, so you might want to have some wide ones, some thin ones, some straight ones, some jagged ones. Just as long as you remember not to go all the way to the edge, to stop right there. So you're going to just get all your slits cut in. Again, this is the loom, so to say. We're making something that we can weave our stuff into. Weave our strips and our string. And then I'll do one more. Then you will open it back up. And you've got your loom that we'll weave into. So you will take to get started, you will take one of your strips. And you're going to have to alternate. So the first strip that you use at the top, let's say you'll go over this first piece, over the edge, under the next one, over. So you're going to kind of go with a pattern. Over, under, over, under. And then you'll get that all the way across. And you might want to leave them kind of hanging off of the edges until you get finished weaving all your strips on. Then if you wanted to, you could leave some of them hanging off the edges, or you could go along the edge and cut them all straight. However you wanted it to look. So the next strip that I have, I'm going to have to go opposite of what I did on this one. So since this one started over, the next one is going to start under it and over the next one. And then you continue with your over, under pattern. And you may get to the part where a point that you're weaving and then you look at it and then you realize that, oh my goodness, hey, I accidentally went under 2 in a row instead of under, over. If that happens, you can take your strip out where you saw you messed up and then continue from there. Or you could just leave it and let that be just, you know, another neat little personality to your project. So, I like to push my strips really close together. You can have them far apart, close together, however you want to. But the idea is to alternate. So, yeah, you'll alternate each slit that you go over, under, and then you're going to alternate the strips that you use or the pieces that you weave. Well, like if you start over on the first one, the next one will go under, the next one will go over. So again, you can use some string. I like to use just to have a good variety. I think adding some string or yarn into the weaving just gives it a different little texture look to it. So I think that just adds a little bit of interestingness to your picture and your artwork that you're creating. So I've got my string. Since I went under on this one, I'm going to go over first with this one. So over on top of that, and then I'm going to do my under, over, under. And weave all of those all the way across. And like I said, if you do find that, hey, you accidentally did over 2 in a row and then you missed one, that's fine. You can leave it, or if you prefer, you can take it out and fix it where you want it. When you do the string, this is a neat little thing you can add to it if you want to. You can even take some beads and tie on to the string pieces that hang off the end. That would add something really neat to it, just if you wanted to put some beads on there. Also, if you have some strip pieces that are hanging off the end, so like I could make it even at the top, and then on the end where they hang off, you can cut little strips down in the pieces that are hanging off, and it would kind of make it look like a little tassel hanging. That's just adds another little, it gives it a different textured look to it. Kind of some fringe here. If anybody ever remembers having some jackets or coats back in the day, anytime you had some of those fringe hanging on them, those were super, super neat. I loved some fringe hanging on some jackets. So you could do that. You can put beads on, any way that you wanted to do this. Also, if you feel like you just really want things neat and tidy, you can take a little bit of glue, and on the pieces that hang off, you can glue those down, and then you can just cut it off even, and then it would kind of just look a little bit more tidy and clean and crisp lines. But again, any way that you do this, there is no right or wrong way to weave or materials to use, just as long as there is a right way to make your loom. So you just can't go all the way to the end. But so you'll alternate your pieces. So there's some string. I'll do another piece of string here. I like to do a couple of pieces of string in a row. So this one started over, so that means this one I'm going under. So I'm kind of alternating them. Again, each piece that you put on, you alternate it from the one before it. And then you can take it, again, you can move your pieces really close to each other. You can have some space between them. You can turn your paper any way you want to, anyway. So there's some string on there. So since I went under here, this one, the next one I'm going over first. Over, under, over, under. There we go. And again, you can tie some beads onto your string. You can hang this up anywhere, decorate anything with it if you want to. And then, like I said, also, experiment with different ways. Experiment some with some jagged lines, some with some straight lines. Different pieces. You might want to do all yarn weaved onto your paper loom, or anything. So there is no right or wrong. I really want you to just enjoy this. And I'm very, very excited to see the project, this weaving project that people have created at home. So please, please take a picture of your work and post it on social media and tag us, the Lancaster County Council of the Arts, in it, just so we can see what each other's doing and just enjoy each other's artwork and creativity, because everybody just has their own unique touch that they add even to the same project. So there might be 18 people doing this project, and they're going to turn out all 18 different ways. It's going to be very super neat. So you can keep on going, and like I said, you can do any shape that you want to do. You can have these any shape. And to just do this. But I am very excited to see the weaving projects that you've done, and I know it is getting ready for school to get back in session, and so I hope that everybody's just excited and happy and feeling good about the upcoming weeks and some new adventures that they're going to get to start with and everything. I will see you next week as we come together and create a whale tail ocean art. So for this, you will just need some plain paper, a pencil, you'll need a black marker, and any kind of coloring utensil you like, whether that's markers, crayons, chalks, oil pastels, anything that you like, your favorite medium to color with. You can use that. But so next week, I really look forward as we come together and create our whale tail ocean art. And I'll see you then. Thanks.